first 20 minutes of this film are apes, you know, and there's like no dialogue. I mean, what an absolutely audacious way to start a movie, and confusing to people. I mean, you know, you can have to imagine yourself in that first audience, you know. You go to see this movie, which is kind of a sci-fi movie that you've heard about, and then you're there for 20 minutes, and all you're seeing are apes, you know. And then you have this ape throw this bone in the air, and we the beautiful cut. I mean, I think of it as it's not just an audacious cut, you know, in cinematic time, you know, 3 or 4 million years ahead. But it's a beautiful, elegant cut, you know.
Yes.
His work is so elegant. People don't talk about that enough, you know. They're just and so how do we move the story to the next level, you know, the next stage, the next chapter, and we'll do it, you know, on motion, on you know, the shape of the bone, so the bone goes up, and it comes, and when we come down, it's, you know, it's the spaceship, so it's cut, you know, it's very jarring, you know, very, very surprising. You don't really know what's going on narratively. I mean, it takes a while to figure things out. So he wants to keep us on our toes, I think, as viewers, you know, all the time, not second guess. You know, and when you're dealing with someone as original as Kubrick, you know, he's such an original artist. You never resort to formula, you know. I mean, the whole idea that we know what's going to happen in any film, or we know how the story is going to develop, or we know what these characters are about, and we kind of can figure out what will happen. I mean, that whole conception of cinema is anathema to Kubrick. You know, that whole idea. It's just so conventional. I mean, you know, if you're going to make films like that, why bother? You know,
yeah,
a million times. And so something that's original and startling, Space Odyssey, you know, needs a form that is so radical, you know, and elements like that, you know, like that cut on the bone to the spaceship, are just one sort of manifestation of how audacious his forms are, you know, as a filmmaker. It's a beautiful, beautiful cut, beautiful moment. You know, it's thrilling practically. It's like when, you know, when the first half of that film ends with Hal reading the lips of Bowman and you know, Poole in the space pod, you know, and figuring, kind of, you know, this is the end of the first half of this film, and it's sort of like when you cut to Hal, you know, and you cut back and you realize Hal is reading their lips, you know, it's like, yeah, oh my God, it's thrilling, you know, it's like formally thrilling. He's like this all the time in his work, you know. It's like it's this is where we get our thrills, you know, from an artist working at such a level of artistry. Yeah. You know? Oh, yeah. That he astonishes you. You know? It's just like sometimes these things feel so effortless, you know, but they're obviously
they're working on so many different levels.
Yeah, they're working at so many different levels, and it's such a level of accomplishment, you know? This is what you know, originality and imagination, those are concepts that people in our lives we have trouble with, because most of us don't live these really exciting original lives, you know, these really exciting imaginative lives. Most of us aren't artists, or most, you know, whatever. Most of us aren't creating these universes on film or in literature or painting or something, or music, writing things. But, you know, so sometimes it remains a kind of abstract idea, you know. Oh yeah, this is an original work, or this is a really imaginative film, or something like this. But when you watch Kubrick over and over again, you realize that this is a man of huge originality and huge imagination, you know, and also a great technical accomplishment